Hello, everyone. I'm Spencer Aiken with the Stronger Together Education Academy, and I'm bringing to you today this learning lesson on creating an exercise database based off of a group cooperative lesson. So, what do I mean? You're going to group together a few of your students, 2, 5, kind of depends on how many students you have available. You can put together as many that makes sense for your classroom and your situation, whether you're in the weight room or whether you do part of your class in an actual classroom. We're going to collaborate so that we can help, so that we can start to be cooperative, so that we can start to understand building together, SEL and all that. But you'll have those who know a little bit more helping out and hopefully elevating and bringing up those who know a little bit less or are less experienced. Remember, working together helps everyone. That whole team thing, together everyone achieves more. We want our already experienced lifters in fitness-based PE to help those less experienced so that we can all elevate. All right, so what are we doing? Now, if you don't know, maybe you haven't learned just yet, maybe you haven't seen me talk about it, that's fine. I'm talking about it now. There are 7 basic human movements, okay, of which they are squats. Your exercises are named after the movement, squatting, all the different varieties, which we're going to get into. Lunges, hinge, which is essentially getting up and bringing your hips underneath. Kettlebell swings, very popular form of a hinge. Presses, bench press, shoulder press. Pulls, pull downs, your rows are a pull, deadlifts are a pull, okay? Rotations, any of your spinal twists, your hip external, your hip internal, elbow external, or shoulder external, those are all rotations, pivoting about a point. Then you have your carries, your farmer walks, anytime you just carry something. Very valuable skill is being able to carry weight like the groceries, in and out, being strong while you're walking. Easy to do exercise that everyone needs to improve grip strength, overall cardiovascular fitness, and be strong in positions of upright. All right, so that's the basis of what we're talking about. Those 7 movements form the foundation of what we're learning in fitness-based PE in the weight room. Everything is predicated and based off of those things. From there, this is not an all-inclusive list behind me, but this is what we work on. These are your options that you're going to give your students to help them start to create a large exercise database. Now remember, everyone has their favorites, everyone has their dislikes. This is not necessarily, ooh, I hate that exercise, which we hear a lot. This is about creating exercise database so that they have the options today, tomorrow, and later in life of, I want to try this. Maybe one day all the barbells are taken and they can't do barbell squats. I can do a goblet squat holding a kettlebell or a dumbbell, essentially the same exercise, same benefit, but now they understand and know. So part of this is, in order to get credit, you must be able to demonstrate, either through explaining through words or by visual, okay? Now, if you don't have the equipment, semantics, we're trying to do our best, but understand this. Okay, so we have our movement, our exercise. I already went over the 7 movements of human life, also known as those exercises. You have position options. You have goal options. You have apparatus options. You have stance options and grip options. Most of the time, these last 2 are more for those who are more experienced in the gym and they start to feel and refine. It kind of adapts differently or hits differently, or we get a different feel for the exercise. Beginners really just kind of need to learn the movement, but like I said, this is potential. We're learning skills for life, which means when you're 60, you may not be doing barbell squats, but you may be more comfortable doing a goblet wide stance squat. So for the most part, this is pretty inclusive of everything that are your options. Your apparatus, you may in the future find something else that you really like that I didn't list. But position options. Standing. Obviously, your squats are going to be standing for the most part, but a leg press, even though it's a press, is essentially a squat, and it's laying down or sitting, okay? Sitting or lying down, okay? Then you also have, so you have standing, sitting, kneeling, or lying down, okay? Lying exercises like leg curls is a pull, leg extension, sitting would be a press. You can do shoulder press, standing for the most part, sitting for the most part, kneeling, actually a great exercise because you get a little bit of contraction of the lower body while you're in a kneeling position. I could even see arguing that you could potentially do a shoulder press lying, and there are machines that are designed to press, shoulder press while you're lying down. So you could potentially do shoulder exercises in all those positions. Great thing to do is understanding variables that you can change and manipulate to get slight variations, and more importantly, find something you really enjoy and you like. You should never be going to workout or any activity for that matter that you don't enjoy. Find what you enjoy, get good at it, and then let that be something you enjoy for the rest of your life. All right? So those are your position options. You then have your goal options. Oh yeah, lying, you also have lying on your stomach in the prone position or lying on your back, supine position. Important terms to understand. Okay, crunches are done supine usually. Back extensions are done prone, meaning laying on my stomach. All right, goals. I have balance. I have strength. I have flexibility. I have targeting goals, the act of kinesthetic awareness and spatial awareness, knowing where your body is in space at all times. Okay, then you have stability. Then you have movement. If you'll notice, these are the 6 skills of physical literacy. All right, but we also have other skills that are more refined components of fitness, power, and reactivity, the ability to react. So you can potentially do an exercise involving reactivity with some targeting where it's like ball catching drills where you have one partner throw a ball to another partner and they have to catch. You can even step into a lunge or squat and catch it at the bottom while you're squatted. We're learning targeting, we're learning reactivity, we're giving a little bit of fun variation, multiple skills available to do that, all right? So remember, rule number 1, be safe. Rule number 2, try to have fun. So trying to create a combination of the two is our goal within PE. Have them safe, have them having fun, and then figure out a way to enjoy it for the rest of your life. All right? So balance, moving, strength. Everyone needs to be strong. We don't all need to be power lifter strong, but we don't need to be bodybuilder built, but we need to be strong enough in order to have a strong body frame for the rest of our life. Okay, apparatus. Some of these are familiar. Some of these you have available at your weight room / gym at your school. Maybe you don't have all of them available. I'm just saying we're creating database because these are for life. Bench. You have your racks, your half racks, your full racks, your power racks, all known as squat racks. Platforms. We have lifting platforms or places that are more conducive and or ideal to do your exercises. Better surface, less slippage, stuff like that. You have your balls, your medicine balls, your big balls known as either Swiss balls, physio ball, or what I call them gym balls, those big, huge 55 centimeter balls, all right? Then you have your BOSU. Side note, BOSU stands for both sides up, meaning you can do it with the blue side up or the black side up. Both are great, a little bit variation, both sides work. That's the company's motto is both sides up, okay? You have barbells, you have dumbbells, you have kettlebells, you have TRX, AKA also using straps, okay? TRX is the brand name, not necessarily all straps are TRX, but TRX is the main company. They're the inventors, the creators, but there are knockoffs and competitors that have their own versions of the straps, okay? Whatever your gym has available, whatever your weight room has, use them because they're amazing. All right, then you have your stances. All your stances will provide a slight variation and change. Your narrow stance for squatting your wider stance, your shoulder width stance, what we generally call athletic ready. You can have a staggered stance, 1 foot slightly forward, 1 foot slightly back. You can have a single, which is more about balance. So yes, you can't see it here, but my foot is in the air. So standing on one leg, and I want to put that finger up. So standing on one leg bent. Okay, all right, that is single leg. Great exercises are doing single leg. When our kids, our growth spurts, so middle school, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, remember 8, generally speaking, kids grow at different times in their lives and they have that growth spurt and their balance changes because their whole abilities change, different lengths. Working on balance and body control are ideal in those times for them. But balance is important for the rest of our lives. All right, so single leg works on our balance. So then we have grips. We have overhand grip, neutral grip, underhand grip, open grip, and closed grip. So open is thumb over, closed is thumb down. So you'll grab the barbell like this and it's closed. Grab the barbell like this and it's open. Okay, so one more time. Overhand, neutral, underhand. You can go wider, you can go narrow. That does change some variations slightly. All right, so these are, for the most part, an inclusive list, an exhaustive list of your options. I'm not going to argue against anyone who says, oh, you can also do this, because it's probably true. All right, so listing out as many squats as you can based off of your options. I can do squats with a barbell, with a narrow stance, with a wide stance, with a shoulder width stance. If I was to say I want to train for strength, your shoulder width stance is generally your best option for barbell squats. And then you would have them answer the reason why they're doing that. What goal is what you're trying to achieve with your exercise, your position, your apparatus, your stance, and your grip? What are you hoping to get out of it? Doing a wide squat is not necessarily conducive for the goal of balance. When our feet are wide, we're naturally more balanced. So when you're doing your grading, are they giving a valid reason or explanation of why they're choosing that exercise? If I was doing a goal of flexibility, I could very easily say I'm doing narrow squats, which do help develop knee flexibility to a greater degree than wide squats. The range of motion used for your knee joints during narrow is greater than it is during super wide. Understanding the reason or answering why is very important for your students. Why are you choosing to do that exercise? All right, so let's say we're doing a pull. Let's say we're doing a bench press. We can actually do a machine standing bench press, a lying down bench press, and there are seated bench presses, okay? Let's say we're doing a pull such as a close grip row. So great, and many different variation options with our rows, all right? So here we go. I'm going to choose a pull, which is a rowing exercise. I'm pulling towards me, hence the term pull. All right, so what position am I doing? Am I standing when I do my rows? If I'm standing, it's going to have a little bit of balance requirement, which means I can't necessarily go as heavy because I won't be as strong because the weight might pull me forward. See how we're starting to understand reasons? All right, so I'm doing a pulling. I choose to do it standing, which means I can get good balance. I can get good strength, but never as much as if I were to do a single leg standing row. More about balance. Not that that was a great exercise, by the way. I can get a little bit of flexibility because I can get a good stretch. I'm not really working on targeting because that's not the basis or the reason for doing pulls. Okay? I'm not really doing power because our back isn't necessarily designed for power exercises. okay? And I'm not really doing reactivity. So I'm probably doing balance, strength, and I get a little bit of flexibility. Okay, assuming I'm doing it properly through full range of motion. All right, now, what is your apparatus? So I'm standing. Remember, I could also do it sitting, which if I do it sitting instead of standing, I get better strength possibility because I don't have to worry about standing up and using these muscles and these muscles to keep me upright. I'm sitting. Apparatus. Am I sitting on a bench? No. Am I standing on a bench? Probably not. Okay. Am I using the squat rack? Probably not because I'm doing a seated or a standing cable row. Okay. Actually, apparatus, add cable right here at the bottom. I could do a TRX row. Absolutely. So let's say I'm doing a TRX row. So my exercise is a row pull, standing TRX rows. Okay. My stance could be shoulder width so that I'm all about strength, okay? And my grip could be overhead for the more upper portion of my back, neutral for the middle portion of my back, or underhand for the lower of my back. So middle, upper, so middle is overhand. Overhand is upper portion. Middle is neutral. Underhand is your lower portion of your latissimus dorsi. All right, so there you go. All right, so what are we doing? We are increasing our exercise database by just checking off the options available and then having our kids work collectively together, collaboratively together to figure out what they want to try to achieve. Now, they already have their exercise list of options, and then they start to build the database based off of the different possibilities, okay? Very simple and easy, and they can start to figure out. Now, what you will do in the future based off of their list is tell them, now create a workout based off of said goal. Maybe it's balance, maybe it's strength. Now, work on these goals. You could have a goal of being like weight loss and conditioning, but those are more components. Okay, so power and reactivity and conditioning. Okay, weight loss is more of a result as a goal than a goal. Okay, but remember, I did say it wasn't all inclusive or exhaustive list. So you could argue 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. All right, so hopefully this helps you out. Hopefully you can take this and use it as a lesson for your students. Just let them sit down at a table or maybe all grab some chairs or sit on a gym ball. If you've ever been in a weight room for an extended period of time, you find out that sitting on gym balls, sitting on medicine balls, sitting on benches is an easy method of taking some load off your feet. All right, so this is a lesson you can use, and you can actually do it multiple times throughout the class, throughout the semester, throughout the quarter, throughout the school year, and start to see how much more comfortable they can be. Even later in times, you can actually have them do it by themselves and then see and compare how many more they get, how much more comfortable they are doing demonstrations. You could actually make it a semester-long list where they will then have to evaluate their exercise database and keep track of how many exercise they started on day 1 versus day 30, day 60, day 90, and then see if they're collectively increasing their overall knowledge. You could also make them try out each exercise. I do have a general rule. I never make anyone do an exercise I haven't performed myself. They may do more weight than I do, but that doesn't mean I didn't perform the exercise, because I want to know possible breakdowns of form, possible rep ranges that make me fatigued or tired, and what my brain is going through while I'm performing it. So that's a general rule that I apply universally across the board. All right, so that's all I have today. If you have any questions, please comment on whatever social media site you're seeing this on. Remember, if you do have any questions, we'd love to ask, or we'd love to answer, because this actual lesson I'm doing today is from a question that another teacher asked me. And once my brain gets going, I kind of sometimes, hopefully, it happens once in a while,